From the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC), developing Nigeria's automotive industry. This is Automotive Hour, projecting Nigeria's automotive industry to the world.
A clear and forward-looking roadmap is the foundation of every thriving automotive industry. One that defines priorities, mobilizes investment, and aligns innovation with national development goals. Hello and welcome to another edition of Automotive Hour, brought to you by the National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC. This program, as always, is your window into the policies, innovations, and partnerships shaping Nigeria's automotive future. I am your host, Maimuna Awezazubair. This week, we focus on the roadmap of the automotive industry in Nigeria. A look at how the NADDC, through strategic policy frameworks, collaborative partnerships, and forward-thinking initiatives, is charting a sustainable path toward full industrialization, job creation, and global competitiveness. And on our Meet the Manufacturer segment, we'll feature Pan Nigeria Limited, one of Nigeria's pioneer automobile assemblers based in Kaduna, whose long-lasting legacy continues to shape the nation's automotive story through manufacturing, training, and technology transfer. It promises to be an engaging and enlightening edition, but first, let's bring you the top stories making the rounds in Nigeria's automotive industry.
Stakeholders from Nigeria's industrial, financial, and political sectors have reaffirmed their commitment to revitalizing the nation's automotive industry through stronger policy reform, innovative financing, and public-private collaboration. This renewed drive was the focus of a 4-day retreat for members and staff of the House Committee on Industry, National Assembly, held in Delta State. With the active participation of the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC) and the Delta State government. The high-level forum explored strategies to strengthen local automobile production, expand access to vehicle financing, and reduce the influx of used vehicles into the country. In his keynote address, the chairman of the House Committee on Industry, Honorable Dr. Eniton Dolapo Badru, emphasized the importance of legislative support and automotive credit schemes to make vehicle ownership more affordable and stimulate local manufacturing. The Director General of NADDC, Chief Otumba Oluwemimo Joseph Oshonipin, reiterated the need for a coordinated financial and policy framework to drive domestic car ownership and build confidence in Nigerian-made vehicles. Representing the Governor of Delta State, the Chief of Staff, Prince Erijo Johnson, reaffirmed the state's readiness to partner with federal and private stakeholders, highlighting Delta's natural resource base and port infrastructure as assets for industrial expansion. The retreat concluded with resolutions to deepen collaboration with NADDC on the implementation of the National Automotive Industry Development Plan, partner with financial institutions to roll out sustainable credit systems, and work with the National Assembly to create legislation supporting local manufacturing and a regulated used car market. Stakeholders express optimism that these collective efforts will accelerate innovation, create employment, and establish a globally competitive automotive ecosystem in Nigeria. The National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC), led by its Director General, Chief Otumba Oluwemimo Joseph Oshonipin, facilitated a 2-day oversight visit by the Senate Committee on Industry, to major automotive manufacturing and assembly facilities across Nigeria's southeast region. The visit, held from the 29th to the 30th of October 2025, included Innocent Plastic Nigeria, Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing, Oma Motors, and Amamco, all key players driving indigenous vehicle production and innovation in the country. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Industry, Senator Francis Fadonsi, commended the ingenuity and resilience of Nigeria's local automakers, describing them as critical to achieving the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He emphasized that with adequate government patronage, funding, and policy backing, the nation's manufacturers have the capacity to meet local demand, create thousands of jobs, and significantly reduce reliance on imported vehicles. The Director General of NADDC, Chief Otumba Oluwemimo Joseph Oshonipin, expressed appreciation to the Senate Committee for its commitment to strengthening the automotive sector through effective oversight. He noted that the Nigerian automotive industry holds enormous potential for job creation, technical innovation, and industrial growth, citing examples of ongoing efforts at Innocent and Amamco to produce vital components and refurbish vehicles locally. Chief Oshonipin further highlighted ongoing government initiatives, including the Nigeria First policy and the Credit Core credit scheme, as key enablers of vehicle financing, institutional patronage, and investor confidence. The visit offered the Senate Committee valuable insight into the achievements and challenges of the automotive industry, reinforcing the need for stronger legislative and policy support to boost investment, expanding production, and create sustainable jobs. Both NADDC and the National Assembly reaffirmed their shared commitment to making Nigeria's automotive sector a cornerstone of national, industrial, and economic development.
Welcome back to Automotive Hour. Now, the Nigerian automotive industry is evolving, guided by a clearly defined roadmap built on the pillars of policy consistency, technology adaptation, local content development, and sustainable mobility. Through initiatives such as the Compressed Natural Gas CNG Adoption Drive and the Nigeria First policy, the Council is championing cleaner energy alternatives and the use of locally assembled vehicles across government fleets, a decisive step towards achieving industrial self-reliance. Let's take a closer look at the key milestones and the future outlook of Nigeria's automotive roadmap.
From the drawing board to the production line, from ideas to innovation, from domestic assembly to export ambition, the journey of Nigeria's automotive industry is now firmly mapped out. At the heart of that journey is the National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC, under the able leadership of the Director General, Chief Otumba Oluwemimo Joseph Osanipin, and the supervision of the Honorable Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Owan Eno. Together, they are guiding the evolution of a sector rooted in the domestic economy but looking outward to global standards. Under the country's revised Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Plan, NAIDP 2023 to 2033, 7 pillars are now the framework. From policy and standards to local content, financing, sustainability, skills, trade and investment. Each is designed to overcome long-standing bottlenecks and position Nigeria as a continental automotive hub. On alternative mobility, the push is unmistakable. The transition to CNG and electric vehicles, the brainchild of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and supported by the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative and NADDC's EV roadmap, reflects global shifts towards decarbonization, local value chains, and renewable-powered transport. Moving subsectors into the formal economy, the after-sales ecosystem, testing and standards regimes, and local component manufacturing are now in sharper focus, For instance, the mandatory integration of local components, the upgrade of service networks, and the enforcement of regulatory standards mirror best practices around the world. Financing and investment have emerged as a critical enabler through the Automotive Development Fund, managed by the Bank of Industry (BOI), and the 20 billion naira Consumer Credit Fund. The Council is not just enabling manufacturing, it is stimulating demand, enabling consumers to buy locally assembled vehicles, and thereby strengthening the entire value chain. The Nigeria First policy is more than a slogan. Its design principle, government vehicle procurement, preferential treatment of locally manufactured models, and emphasis on skills development for youth and women are now the norm. From players like Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing, Dangote Sinotruck West Africa Limited, Lanre Shitu Motors, to emerging component makers, the message is clear. Build in Nigeria, buy in Nigeria, export from Nigeria. Crucially, the industry is global in orientation, not local in limitation. As other nations build sustainable mobility ecosystems, Nigeria is aligning, adopting certification standards, establishing industrial parks, negotiating technology transfers, and preparing for export integration under the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. In this context, the roadmap is not just domestic, it is continental, even global. As the groundwork has been laid for an auto industry with high potential, the next phase begins. Scaling capacity, deepening local content, building exports, and embedding sustainability in every vehicle, every part, and every technician. The road has been charted. The challenge now is execution. At the NADDC, the mandate remains firm. Policy, innovation, people, production. Stage by stage, pillar by pillar, we are building a future where Nigeria's automotive industry is not just present, it is competitive, sustainable, and export-ready. The engine has been started. The gears are shifting. Nigeria's automotive future is rolling.
Welcome back. At the heart of Nigeria's automotive journey are the manufacturers, those who translate policy into production and vision into value. This week on Meet the Manufacturer, we feature Pan Nigeria Limited, one of Nigeria's oldest and most iconic automotive assembly companies. Commencing operations in 1975, Pan Nigeria's Kaduna plant remains a cornerstone of Nigeria's industrial heritage. Once synonymous with household brands like Peugeot, the company has evolved into a multi-brand, multi-segment assembler, producing passenger vehicles, commercial trucks, and mass transit buses tailored to Nigerian needs. Pan Nigeria has remained a beacon of training and technology transfer. Its commitment to skill and development and knowledge sharing aligns with the NADDC's vision of building human capital that can sustain Nigeria's auto industry for generations to come. Let's take a look.
Pan Nigeria Limited has stood as a trailblazer in Nigeria's automotive history. Established in 1975, the Kaduna-based company remains one of the nation's longest-standing vehicle assemblers, known for its durability, reliability, and commitment to Nigeria's industrial growth. According to Chief Operating Officer Bawo Omagbitse, Pan has evolved over the years into a multi-brand assembly hub producing passenger vehicles, commercial autos, and mass transit models for diverse sectors of the economy. Beyond production, the company has built a strong reputation for training, technology transfer, and partnerships that strengthen Nigeria's automotive value chain. On local content, Pan Nigeria proudly highlights collaborations with over 70 local manufacturers, a partnership that once drove local integration to nearly 40%. While recent industry shifts affected the momentum, the company remains optimistic that ongoing reforms will reignite domestic component development.
Pan Nigeria, of course, is a pioneer in vehicle assembly in Nigeria. We have a long history of vehicle assembly, right from 1975 when we started operations. We had a long list of well-recognized, brands, in the country in the 80s, 90s, and these were so popular brand that became um, assumed by Nigerians as the vehicles of choice. Previously, we used to be a mono brand, but today we are a multi-brand outfit. We have a production setup that can operate multiple brands for the passenger car segment, commercial, and the mass transit.
Collaboration has been central to Pan's growth story. The company maintains a strong working relationship with the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC), supporting the establishment of test centers, standardization processes, and the legislative advancement of the Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Plan.
We must work with NADDC together in our associations, right, to see that there is legislation, there's standardization, there is testing opportunities, and NADDC has invested massively in those testing facilities across the country. All of those are to ensure that we're able to test our materials. NADDC itself has its standards that we must conform to.
In alignment with the Nigeria First policy, Pan commends the government's resolve to prioritize locally assembled vehicles. The initiative, he says, will not only empower local manufacturers but also generate employment and reduce the dependence on imported used cars.
The industry is excited, that you have this policy. I think it's a bold initiative. Coming out with a Nigeria First, policy is an intention to localize, to industrialize. And what they are saying is that if you look at the policy document itself, it's saying that for industries, that can localize, then you have the benefit of being patronized.
On financing, the COO establishes that manufacturing is a capital-intensive venture that requires long-term, low-interest funding. He applauds the establishment of the Nigeria Consumer Credit Corporation as a welcome intervention that will enable Nigerians to access affordable, made-in-Nigeria vehicles, a move expected to boost demand and production simultaneously.
It's a good start. I mean, we have taken over 20 years to get to this stage. Yes, the amount is 20 billion. It is always a good start, to have, funding, for the consumer end of it. Sometimes we ignore the fact that the consumers too need to be funded to be able to have access, to our products.
Pan has also embraced Nigeria's transition to cleaner energy. The company has acquired NADDC certifications to assemble hybrid vehicles and has commenced the conversion of internal combustion engines to compressed natural gas (CNG). Looking ahead, Pan is exploring partnerships for full-scale electric vehicle production.
We have embraced it. We have the required certification now to operate hybrid, gasoline and CNG. We have had, some conversions made. We're already keyed into this, and we believe very strongly that is a path that we must take. Our long-term goals should be to move into those areas more dominantly, all right, to see how we can balance, energy costs, for our consumers. EVs, we are also there seeking partnerships, in this regard.
In ensuring customer satisfaction, Pan has expanded its after-sales network nationwide. Through strategic partnerships with service centers and parts dealers, customers can access maintenance support, and genuine parts across the country, ensuring that ownership remains seamless and affordable.
It is necessary for us to collaborate, all right? Internally, collaborate with other dealers, other assemblers, all right, to share, facilities. Already across the place, a number of service centers are springing up. And so what we needed to do is not to own our own service centers, across the place, but to have strong relationship with these service centers and to ensure that those centers actually meet the service standard, of our organization.
Pan Nigeria also stands out for its unwavering commitment to human capital development. Its learning center in Kaduna serves as a hub for technical training, open not only to itself but to students, young professionals, and other brands within the auto industry. This collaborative spirit underscores Pan's belief that the growth of one is the growth of all.
We are committed to skills development, and that is the reason why we have put in some commitments to our training center, expanding their capabilities, over the years, and the center is not only open to Pan staff, it is also open to other brands, in the country.
Looking ahead, the COO expresses optimism about the future of Nigeria's automotive industry. One with stronger local content, sustainable jobs, and a self-reliant ecosystem anchored on sound policy implementation. He underscores that the full legislation of the Automotive Industry Development Plan will provide investors with the confidence and certainty the sector needs to thrive.
I see that there's going to be growth, there's going to be job creation, there's going to be content development. I see better linkages in the future.
From pioneering assembly to driving new energy innovation and workforce transformation, Pan Nigeria Limited continues to shape the nation's automotive journey, building vehicles, capacity, and confidence in Nigeria's industrial future.
Well, that brings us to the end of this week's edition of Automotive Hour. From policy roadmaps and stakeholder partnerships to enduring institutions like Pan Nigeria, one truth stands out. Nigeria's automotive industry is on a defined path, driven by innovation, collaboration, and a clear national vision. At the National Automotive Design and Development Council, we remain steadfast in our mission to advance technology, promote local content, and foster sustainable growth that places Nigeria at the forefront of Africa's automotive transformation. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to follow our social media handles showing on your screen for more updates, features, and stories from across the automotive world. Join us next time for another exciting edition. Until then, I am Maimuna Ahoiza Zubair, and this is Automotive Hour. Bye for now.